Thank you so much for attending these video lessons. I hope you have an enjoyable time. All the best, Patrick. That was a verbal, audible version of a thank you email. It says in the book an email, but it could be a thank you for, like using Line or any kind of message or direct message that you send electronically. The thing about electronic media, as you probably know, it's much less formal than writing a fancy thank you letter or thank you for inviting me to your wedding ceremony. I mean, that would be a very formal one. These kinds of thank yous would be, I don't know, what sort of situation. Maybe you went out for a meal with somebody and it was really fun and you had a good time and you want to thank them, or they invited you to a party, you went to the party, excuse me, and it was fun. Then it's nice to send an email, right? The next day or a couple of days later. Thanks for everything. Very polite. Japanese do this naturally or usually. English people sometimes forget. Americans are quite polite, I've found. Anyway, how do you write a thank you email in English? It's all here. Let's have a look. I've got it written down. Number one, if you have an email and there's a subject line, use a straightforward subject line. So very direct, like, thank you, and the name of the person. Thank you, Mr. Sheriff. Or thank you for a wonderful lesson. Or thank you for your help. That's your subject. And then inside the email, informal, you can just use a statement like, hello, hey there, good morning or afternoon. Or that's okay, but you don't know when they're going to look at the email. If you don't know how to do it, just use dear. And to make it informal, use a first name. Dear Patrick, my name's Patrick. Or if you don't feel quite so friendly, dear Mr. Sheriff, dear Ms. Sheriff, dear Miss, like a letter. If it's a professional person, don't forget their titles like doctor. If it's a professor, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professor. And actually, you could do it more informally. If it's just between friends, you don't even need to say anything, because often when it's email or online, you know who's sending the message. So you can just say, if it's between friends, hey, I just wanted to say thanks for last night, or I had a wonderful time last night. Thanks for inviting me. That's it. You don't even need to say your name because it's clear, right? But it's always helpful to be polite and maybe a little bit semi-formal. So anyway, you write your body of your email. It was wonderful to see you last night. And then final statement. Thanks so much. You can put your contact details, it says here, number 4. Yeah, maybe, but I think email, they can already see how to contact you. And you can close your email with a professional ending, such as sincerely, kind regards, or my sincere thanks. And you put your name. Sincerely, Patrick. Kind regards. Your name. My sincere thanks. Blah, blah, blah. That sounds kind of a bit formal. My usual greeting that I have, a standard thing on my email, is all the best, comma, Patrick. And I've noticed people often when there's a long conversation, or if you know somebody very well, like if I've been teaching you for a year, you know me very well, I might say, if I'm thanking you, thanks for coming out for the students' party yesterday. It was great to talk in English with you. And then I might just have no greeting and just say P dot. Just my initial P for Patrick, P dot. If I know you very well, you know me very well. So there's different levels of formality. If it's very formal, if you don't really know the person, be more formal. Yours sincerely, if I was writing a letter, if it was very formal, dear Mr. Smith, I really enjoyed the party that you invited me to. Thank you very much. Yours sincerely, Patrick Sheriff, or all the best, Patrick Sheriff, full name. Less formal, hey, that was great last night. Thanks for inviting me, Patrick. Very informal. What a great time we had. See you tomorrow. P. Dot. So there's different levels of formality. But if you're confused, any kind of a thank you is polite. So don't worry too much. And electronic media is often very informal. So the only mistake you can really make is not sending a letter because you don't know what to say. Better to say something than say nothing. That's my theory. Okay, let's have a look. I've got 3 questions to ask you. Do you ever write thank you emails in Japanese? Are they usually formal or informal? Is there an advantage to writing an email thank you rather than a letter? Who writes letters? I don't know people's addresses. Number 3, which is more useful, email, social media, or snail mail, traditional post? Which is more useful? What do you think? Email, social media, or snail mail? The pros and cons of everything. So have a think about that. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much. All the best, Patrick.